St. Lucia's Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre told the closing news conference he was extremely pleased with the outcome of the deliberations.
The decisions we have taken this week reaffirm that CARICOM remains united in purpose and determined in action. Together, we'll continue building a Caribbean that is more resilient, more prosperous, more connected, and better prepared for future generations.
Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar, who since her return to office in April last year has enjoyed a stormy relationship with the rest of CARICOM, said she is now looking forward to a much more harmonious relationship with the grouping.
I have not changed in that position. However, some matters discussed in the recent days, I think we've been able, through the chairmanship of Prime Minister Pierre, and of course with the cooperation of the other heads, that we've been able to iron out some of the concerns I had. So my position has not changed. I remain committed to the CARICOM. We will have issues from day to day, from time to time. In a family, you have issues of concern, and my position is that we must raise them. We must not put our heads down in the sand like ostriches. We raise them when they are and try to find resolutions. So we've been able in this 51st CARICOM heads meeting to iron out some of those differences, and I think we are better as we go forward.
The leaders discussed a wide range of issues from the cost of living, food security, economic resilience, health, climate change, and reparatory justice. But the issues that have been driving policies in the past few months remained without a clear position. For instance, on the issue of Cuba, while regional leaders expressed support for dealing with the humanitarian crisis in that country, there was acknowledgement that the situation in Havana is not an easy issue.
Heads discussed this matter. This is not an easy issue. And I think that we are agreed that the discussions and the debate must take place, but without prejudice to any discussions and debate for a peaceful resolution of what is transpiring with Cuba, that there is a humanitarian crisis. And you cannot continue to ignore that reality. The United States of America, I believe, has said itself that it will contribute to the relief of the humanitarian crisis. The Caribbean has been resolute in saying that we want to do it.
St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew, who spent 7 years studying medicine in Havana, told reporters that the region continues to be touched by the humanitarian crisis in Cuba.
And of course, for all of us here in the CARICOM and in the region, we are very touched by what has happened. We, under my chairmanship, we discussed putting a fund together for humanitarian relief, and I'm happy to report, Prime Minister, I just got the update that you mentioned the money was returned 3 times, that I can say it has now been accepted at the 4th time. And so we are now expecting to deliver the first batch of baby milk. Different countries have delivered for different things, and we hope that that gets to the children of Cuba as soon and as quickly as possible.
The regional leaders said that they had also discussed the United States policy as it relates to third country refugees. Under that program, Washington is asking individual Caribbean countries to accept refugees or undocumented migrants who entered the U.S. illegally. Prime Minister Pierre said that the meeting had not discussed the Citizenship by Investment Program, the CBI, even though Europe and the United States have linked their visa policies to that program. Under that program, foreign investors are granted citizenship of some of these islands in the Caribbean in return for making a substantial investment in their socio-economic development.
The CIP program only exists in a few islands of CARICOM. St. Vincent, Grenada, St. Lucia, Dominica, Antigua, and St. Kitts. So we see it more as an issue that we discuss among ourselves, and at the larger CARICOM level, it was not discussed. Yes. It was not discussed because we are the only, but I'll tell you what, we've been trying our best to follow best practice. We've been trying our best to ensure that all the requirements that we are asked for, we've met them. The latest requirement that we have a unified regulatory body. We've done that through the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. All the due diligence procedures that we are asked to do, we take these steps. But each country has a right to impose its own domestic policy, and we are in no position to tell anybody what to do as far as their domestic policy is concerned. So regardless of what we do, if Europe decides that they don't want us to have a CIP program, that's what is going to happen. Each country has its own domestic policies, and if for their own reasons that is decided by Europe, by countries in Europe, that they do not want a CIP program, there's literally nothing we can do under these circumstances. But we're going to follow all what they've asked us to do. And we've gone, and in terms of history, we have been there before. We've done what we do. We took all the steps as far as our bananas were concerned, and we still lost treatment of our bananas as far as our sugarcane is concerned. So we've gone there before. We've been there before, and we've always survived, and I'm sure we'll continue to survive.
On the issue of climate change, the regional leaders reaffirmed their commitment to limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius and to advocating for the special circumstances of small island developing states.